महोदय आरम्भं करोतु।
ओके। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। What is next?
सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं।
Okay. Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada.
धन्यवादः महोदय। आरम्भं कुर्मः। अद्य वयं संख्यानां पठनं सम्पूरयामः। इदानीं सम्पूर्णं करिष्यामः। तदनन्तरं धातूनाम् अकर्मकत्वं सकर्मकत्वम् इति पश्यामः। तदेव अद्यतनकक्षायाः लक्ष्यं। पश्यामः कथं कुत्र पर्यन्तं गच्छामः इति। एकनिमिषं शेर् स्क्रीन् करोमि। So I know where we ended our last class. So we had प्रथमतया तु संख्यानां यदा वयं पठनम् आरम्भं कृतवन्तः तत्र 1 2 3 इति संख्यानां परिचयं वयं जानीमः एव। प्रथमतया यदा संस्कृतस्य पठनं कृतवन्तः तत्र 1 2 3 इति संख्या इति अस्ति इति वयं जानीमः। तदनन्तरं यदा विशेष्य विशेषणभावः इति दृष्टवन्तः तत्र संख्या यदा विशेष्य विशेषणभावरूपेण आगच्छति तत्र संख्यायाः नाम संख्येयः इति भवति खलु। संख्येयः संख्येयः इत्युक्ते किम्? इदानीम् अहं वदामि चेत् सः एकः एव रावणाय अलम्। अलम् इति शब्दः तत्र वयं प्रथमं कृतवन्तः। अलम् इति शब्दः उपपदविभक्ति शब्दः। So it only goes with which vibhakti? There are 2 vibhaktis it goes with. Who remembers? Dvitiya na. Alam. Alam is different. It works. It's all. Which one? Tritiya. It works with Tritiya and it works with Chaturthi.
Okay.
The meaning is different for both. Okay. So when you use alam with Tritiya vibhakti, there you will go. Preeti Mahodaya bhavati smarati va? वदतु।
अलं रोदनेन or alam. So enough of that crying or enough of the fighting or like that.
Alam krodhena. मम पतिः अस्ति सः मम उपरि क्रोधं करोति तो क्रुध्यति तो अहं वदामि अलं क्रोधेन इति। मम तादृशम् अलम् इति तत्र पर्याप्तम् इति अस्ति। तत्र इनफ स्टॉप इति तादृशं। परन्तु चतुर्थी विभक्ति यदा वयम् उपयोगं कुर्मः तत्र कथं भवति? सः एकः एव रावणाय अलम्। मञ्जुषा महोदय तत्र सः कः?
I don't know महोदय।
इदानीं चिन्तयतु चिन्तयतु। you know I'll tell you. सः एकः अस्ति, एकः पुरुषः। इदानीं भवती चिन्तयतु सः एकः एव अस्ति। रावण मरणस्य कृते सः एकः एव पर्याप्तं। कः अस्ति सः?
रामः। You mean like oh okay.
तदेव।
So he is equal to one like that.
You don't need anyone else. You don't need anyone else. You just need him. रावण मरणस्य कृते मारणस्य कृते सः एकः एव पर्याप्तम् इति। तदेव। तो तादृशम् अलम् उपयोगं कर्तुं शक्नुमः। तत्र चतुर्थी विभक्ति। So when you want to say stop, तत्र तृतीया विभक्ति. When you want to say this person is enough, there is nobody else who is needed, that is chaturthi vibhakti over there. Tadeva. Everybody sort of remembers from the beginning lesson when you had an overload of all the vibhaktis. Yes.
Yeah, Mahoday, this saha ekaha eva ravanaya alam. One Ravana is enough. That's what we are saying. Saha
atra idanim saha tu Ramah. So Ramah alam asti. Ramah paryaptam asti. Ravanaya, Ravanasya krite.
Okay, so it's like Ramaha ekaha eva Ravanaya alam.
You don't need anybody else. If suppose we had that it's never that case, but for us we know that for us Ramaha tu Bhagavan asti, Vishnoho avataram asti khalu. So we know that even if there was no one else, if it was Ravana and Rama, he is enough. Rama is enough for Ravana to be stopped. Right? Even if all the other things didn't happen, but we need the rest of the story for our whole dharma and all that to happen. But in the end, Rama is enough for Ravana to stop Ravana. Iti.
When you say alam kolahalena, that means it's like kolahalam's enough, right?
Stop it.
Yeah.
But enough.
Tritiya, no? That will come under Tritiya.
Correct.
But when you say here, Saha Eka Eva Ravanaya Alam, if we don't say Saha Eka Eva Ravanaya Alam means is enough of Ravana?
No. Ravanaya Alam. Tatra Alam is an avyayam. Okay. So the thing is, Saha Eka Eva Ravanaya Alam Asti. Tatra Alam is used as a sort of paryaptam, enough. And we need to know the context. Like we are all Bharatiyas, so we know the context of Ramayana. Now, if some Russian person came and they are studying Sanskrit and they haven't studied the Ramayana, this will not make sense for them. Okay, so we have context. Once we know we have that context, we are able to say that Rama is sufficient unto Ravana. And the way we say sufficient unto Ravana, we say it is like he is enough to stop, put an end to him. We don't need anyone else. Does that make sense? You still have a question, ask.
No, I mean, I just, so when you use Chaturthi, then the Ravanaya Alam, and then we need the context there.
Yes. So for Chaturthi, when Chaturthi, what does it mean? Chaturthi can mean either Dana Kriya, or Chaturthi can mean also, it can also be a Kasya Krite Vayam Karyam Kurmaha. For what reason are we doing something? So this Rama is doing something to Ravana. We know that when he is doing something to Ravana, what is Rama going to do? He's not going to do puja. He's not going to do archana. He is killing Ravana.
Right.
So that is the context we know. So he is enough in that context. We do not need, like, even if suppose Lakshmana wasn't there, Vishnu isn't there, even Hanuman isn't there, etc. We leave everything else out, right? Because we know Ramaha is Vishnu avataram, we know he is Bhagavan. For us, we can believe and say Rama is enough to stop Ravana, put an end to Ravana. Iti. Tadrisham.
Mahode, like if like saying Rama is enough for whom? For whom? So that Chaturthi is there for whom?
Correct.
So when you want to say for whom, it will be Ravanaya, right?
Yes.
Like that. So you are just telling that for whom in Chaturthi.
Yes, perfect explanation. Bhagya Mahode, you understood?
Mahode, I got it. I mean, suddenly, because I thought, like in my mind, Alam Kola Halena, there was an exercise I remember. And then I said, that was the Tritiya. But here, when you use Chaturthi, and then, so then we need to have something, and then like what Preeti Modi said, that's good. For whom?
Yes, perfect.
So
Thank
Mahode, this Chaturthi form with Alam, it's used only when we are speaking about persons, or can we say Vyayamam ekam eva arogyaya alam?
That should also be correct. That is correct.
We can say like that too.
Perfect. Yes.
So, and this Ravanaya, it is not meaning that to kill Ravana.
No.
In this context, to kill. But if we talk about some other person, it's just he is the only one who for that thing. That's what it means.
They are like he's strong enough to match, sort of. It's like you're matching and saying he's strong enough to deal with that person, or he's equivalent, sort of thing. Suppose there is a wrestling match between two people, and everybody, there are quite a number of weak players, but we know that these two are equally matched, then you can say this person is alam for that other person. Tadrisham. So
no, but that is in that context. But can we also say Shishuhu Mata? Okay, I don't know the word.
You tell me.
Mother alone is enough for the kid. Can we say like that?
So if you say Shishu in Chaturthi Vibhakti, how will you go?
Shishave. Okay, correct.
Shishave. Shishave namaha iti asti khalu. So Shishave. Shishave amba eva alam.
Okay. Then
that's it. Same. Yes.
Mahodaya, sorry, one other doubt.
No, sorry. Ask.
Sankhya means, what did you say? What is it?
So now we'll come to that because we diverged into alam. So Sankhyeyaha ityasya atra Ramah iti nasti khalu. Padam eva nasti.
Yeah.
Saha ekah eva Ravanaya alam. Idanim saha iti nasti chet. Ekah eva Ravanaya alam. Tatra ekah tu kaha?
Could be anyone.
Idanim ekah eva Ravanaya alam. Ramayanam janimaha. Tu ekah kaha? Ramaha. Tu ekah tu visheshanam asti. Ramasya.
Okay.
It's pointing to Rama. It is not saying one. It is not saying one by itself. It is saying one person who we know is Rama. So it is actually like acting like a Sarvanama over here. Okay. So that is what Sankhyeyaha is. Sankhya is when we say we're playing hide and seek and you go ekam dve trini chatvari, where they're by themselves. They're not pointing, those numbers are not pointing to anything. That is Sankhya. When we do Ganitam and all that, we have Sankhya. But when we are talking in terms of context, we always have Sankhyeyaha. Sankhyeyaha eva upayogam kritva vayam bhashanam kartum shaknumaha.
Okay.
Tadeva asti. Chita nasti. Tu visheshana rupena Sankhyeyaha iti vadamaha. Tadanantaram. Eka, dve, tri, chatur iti pratipadikani. Vayam janimaha. Prathama chatvari santi. Tatra. Tu sarveshu trishu lingeshu api भिन्नानि रूपाणि प्राप्नुवन्ति खलु वयं जानीमः एकम् इति नपुंसकलिङ्गे एकः इति पुल्लिङ्गे एका इति स्त्रीलिङ्गे त्रिषु लिङ्गेषु अपि भिन्नानि रूपाणि तदनन्तरं द्वि अपि तादृशमेव तु राजश्री महोदय द्वि कथं भवति त्रीणि त्रिषु लिङ्गेषु केवलं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं
द्वौ द्वे द्वे
सम्यक् द्वौ द्वे द्वे तदनन्तरं हरप्रसाद महोदय भवान् वदतु त्रि कथं भवति
तिस्रः
स्त्रीलिङ्गे पुल्लिङ्गे नपुंसकलिङ्गे वदतु भवान् जानाति
त्रीणि
सम्यक् पुल्लिङ्गे त्रयः it's actually strilingam is easy because we know tisrah and chatasrah, no? So trayah is in pullinga. Tadeva asti. Tadanantaram chatur shabde katham vadamaha. Manjusha Mahodaya bhavati vadatu. Kshamita.
Chatvarah, chatasrah, chatvari.
Samyak. Tadeva uttamam. Agre Anuradha Mahodaya. नमस्ते भवती वदतु चतुर् शब्दस्य केवलं चतुर् शब्दस्य वचनं किम् बहुवचनं सप्तसु विभक्तिषु वक्तुं शक्नोति वा पुल्लिङ्गे वदतु
ओके चत्वारः चतुरः am I correct
very good
okay चत्वारः चतुरः two over third is chaturbhyah chatur
you can why don't you make this thing go chatvarah balakaah chaturah balakan
chatvar I don't think I'm going to do the balakebhyah what balakebhyah
tell me what is in tritiya vibhakti what is balaka shabda bahuvachanam
balakaihi so Oh, so it will be Chatwaribihi or Chatvaraihi? Huh?
Chaturbhihi.
Chaturbihi. Oh, okay.
Take the pratipadikam and add a bihi. Tadeva asti.
Okay. Chaturbihi balakaihi. Then now it's going to be balakaya chaturbhyah. Chaturbhyah balakaya. So then chaturbhyah balakat. Then
Balakatva.
Chaturbhyah
Balakebhyah.
Balakebhyah.
Bahuvachanameva.
So that yes.
I just have to open the door. You, Preeti, you just 1 minute. 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah. So Chaturbhyah balakebhyah. Chaturbhyah
Same for Panchami to be same.
Balakebhyah. Then sixth will be Balakanam. So that will be what yoho? I don't know what yoho it is.
Chaturnam.
Oh, Chaturnam Balakanam. Then Chaturshu Balakeshu.
Bahu Samyak. Very good.
No, I'm not Bahu Samyak. I don't remember anything.
No. This is how we remember. If we don't do this, how will we remember? That's
Yes,
all.
yes,
Vadatu.
All on the same boat, Mahoday.
Yeah, it is Murdanya, right? Chaturnam.
Yes, because of the Repaha.
Okay.
Because Ra comes, so it is Arna.
Yeah.
Okay. Haraprasad Mahoday, do you want to try Trini? You want to try Tisraha? Tisraha Vachanam Kim Tatra?
I'm sorry, where are you looking? What do you want me to do?
So, Tri Shabdaha, Stilinge. Can you tell me the Saptasu Vibhaktishu Rupani?
I have not practiced it.
You don't have to. Don't worry. We'll help you.
Okay.
So, what is three in Strilingam? You told me already.
Traya?
That is Pullinga. So, Tisraha.
Tisraha, yeah.
Tisraha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, when we say Tisraha, what will the Vachanam be? Is it
Bahuvachana. Bahuvachana.
Very good. So, can you say? So, I'll start you in Prathama Vibhakti. Tisraha Mahilaha.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Dvitiya Vibhakti. Parivartanam Bhavati va.
Mahilam. Mahilam.
Mahilaha. Bahuvachanameva.
Yeah, Mahilaha. Tisraha.
Tisraha. Tisraha Mahilaha. No change. So, Tisraha. Now, try the next one, the Tritiya Vibhakti. Mahilaha. Tritiya Vibhaktiyam katham bhavati? Bahuvachane.
Mahila Tisraya.
Tisrabhihi.
Oh, correct. Tisrabhihi.
So, Tritiya always had the bihi at the end.
Bihi, correct.
Same for Mahila. So, Sampurnatya?
Tisrabhya Mahilaya.
Tisrabhihi Mahilabhihi.
Bihi, okay. Yeah.
Aham Tisrabhihi Mahilabhihi saha apanam gatavati.
Okay.
Tisrabhihi Mahilabhihi. Now, what is Chaturthi?
Chaturthi will be
Tell me only say Rama Shabdaha. Tell me the full Ekavachanam, Vivachanam and Bahuvachanam for Chaturthi.
Ramayai, Ramabhya, Ramabhya.
Good. So Mahilabhyaha.
Yeah,
Mahilabhyaha. What will you do for the three? Tisra?
Sistrabhyaha.
Samyak. Tisrabhyaha Mahilabhyaha. You just add the bhyaha at the end. Tadeva asti.
Okay.
Okay. So now, is there any change in Panchami?
Panchami, no.
No. So same thing.
Yeah.
Tisrabhyaha Mahilabhyaha aham patram svikritavati. So Panchami. Now, what will it be for Shashti?
Shashti will be Mahila Nam.
Samyak. So what do you think it will be for?
So Tistru Nam.
Samyak. Tisranam Mahilanam. Tadeva asti. And Saptami Vibhakyam? Saptamyam Vibhakyam?
Saptami will be Mahilashu.
Su. Only akaranta shabdas will have su. Everything else is shu. Mahilasu.
Mahilasu.
But tisre, what will you add to this? How will you say for tisre?
Tistrusu.
Samyak. Tisre shu. For tisre shu.
Oh. Okay.
When it's akaranta, then it becomes sakara. But when everything else, it becomes shakara. Shanmugasha.
Okay.
So tisrishu mahilasu iti bhavati. You understood? It's a simple formula that we need to practice. We just need to practice. That's it. Very good. So tisraha, tisrabhihi, tisrabhyaha, tisrabhyaha, tisranam, tisrishu. Uttamam. So dvi we can do quickly. Preeti Mahoday bhavati vadatu quickly. Shigrataya dvi shabdah. Tatra vachanam kim? Mahoday? Oh, mama antarjala.
I don't know. My internet connection is bad or?
No, I think mine came suddenly unstable. But hopefully you can hear me now.
Mine also came unstable.
Okay.
Not sure. Okay. What did you want me to say, Mahoday?
Dvi shabdah. Can we do? We did. Can you do napumsakalingam dvi shabdah? Just to padadvayam upayujya. Saptasu vibhaktishu.
Dve phale. Dve phale. Dvabhya. No.
Samyak.
Correct. Dvabhyam. Phalabhyam.
Samyak.
Dvabhyam phalabhyam. Dvayoho phalayoho.
Samyak. Kevalam रूपत्रयम् एव भिन्नं भवति तत्र भिद्यते बहु सम्यक् तदेव. So anytime you have doubts about it, try and make a quick sentence about it, and it will fall. Hopefully it will fall into place. Now eka shabdah ka vadati? Bhagya Mahoday vadati va? Eka shabdah. Mama internet problem. Can you hear me? Shruyate va? Kanna internet gadbad hai kuch. Oh.
Okay. Ekah balakah, ekam balakam, ekena balakena, ekasmai balakai. Right?
You're muted. Mahoday, muted.
Ekasmai balakaya.
Ekasmai balakaya. Ekasmat balakat. Ekasya balakasya. Ekasmin balake.
Samyak. Bahu samyak. Uttamam. Bahu uttamam. Kamitam, my internet dropped for a second. Thank you for continuing. So we know our ekam dve trini chatvari. We know all of that. Okay, you guys are all experts on that. So we'll get to expertise, no problem. So ekam eka shabdah vayam janimah nitya ekavachananta shabdah iti. Because it is constrained because of the number. Dvi shabdah api nitya dvivachananta shabdah asti. Tri shabdah chatur shabdah cha nitya bahuvachanantau. Because anything more than 3 we know is bahuvachanam. Okay. Panchan, shash, saptan, ashtan, navan, dashan, ekadashan, dvadashan. Okay, these are the pratipadikani up to ashtadashan. Ashtadashan ityukte kim? Ashtadasha ityukte kim?
19.
18.
Oh, 18.
Ashtadasha ityukte 18. So ashtadashan paryaptam tatra nakaranta kevalam shash shabdah eva tatra shakarantah asti. परंतु अन्यत् सर्वं तु नकारान्त शब्दाः. ओके, तत्र त्रिषु लिङ्गेषु समानरूपं भवति. Very simple format. We did like with tisraha, chatasraha. We did those, right? How did it go? It went tisraha, tisrabhihi, tisrabhyah, tisrabhyah, tisrinam, tisrishu. Pancha, it will be pancha balakaha. Pancha balakan. Aham pancha balakan pashyami. Aham pancha balakaihi saha gachami. Panchabhyah. What did I say now? I said it wrong. Pancha panchabhihi. So aham panchabhihi balakaihi saha gachami. So panchabhihi. Next one will be panchabhyah. Aham panchabhyah balakebhyah pustakam dadami. Chaturthi vibhakti. Then panchabhyah again. So aham panchabhyah mahilabhyah pustakam swikaromi. Apadanam panchami vibhakti. Shashtyam vibhaktyam katam bhavati? Aham panchanam mahilanam shatikam shatikaha shatikaha what I like aham ichhami
Srinam.
Strinam. Aham panchanam strinam shatikaha ichhami. Shashti vibhakti. Then saptami vibhakti. Aham panchasu mahilasu vishwasini. Same format. Pancha, panchabhihi, panchabhyah, panchanam, panchasu. Shat. It's there in the Parichaya book, Pravesha book. Sorry, Pravesha book. I think it's. Can someone tell me page 216?
216.
216. 216. Thank you, Vijay Mahoday. So page 216. I've lost my book. It has gone somewhere. So I will depend on you guys to find it for now. So page 216. You have the. I got it. Page 216. Okay. So page 216. Everybody keep your Pravesha book because we're going to do a quiz. So you want it. 215, 216. So 216 is Panchan. You can see Shash Sabdaha, Shadbhihi, Shadbhyaha, Shannam, Shatsu. Now you'll ask me that I said that it was very easy, that everything is just Bihi, Byaha, and Nam and Su, but Shat looks different. Why? Shat is not different. It is still exactly the same. The only thing that is different is when you are having an ending with a takaraha, your tongue moves slightly differently. So different sandhi rules come into play. Okay. So when you say shat, when you want to say shat bihi, it's really hard to say shat bihi. It comes easier as shad bihi. When you say it right, shat bihi is hard. Shad bihi is easier. There is a sandhi rule for that. Okay, it's called, I won't go into it right now. Shadbihi, shadbhyaha. Then you have shannam. The takara becomes a nakara. Because for ta also it is a murdhanya, right? It is you're rolling your tongue. But when you go shatnam, it's harder. There is you cut it off. So there is a sandhi rule makes it shannam iti tadeva. And then shatsu iti bhavati tatra. Okay, so it is. You need to practice shat, especially because it's easy to make spelling mistakes on that. Okay, so it's up to you to practice that. So shat shabdaha. Ashta shabdaha madhye, tatra kinchit, they have vikalpa rupam. They have two vikalpa rupam there that are given in the book. Ashta, ashtau. It's only for ashta shabdaha. Ashtabhihi, ashtabhihi. You know how with we have ashtavimshatihi. And then when it goes to ashtatrimshat, ashtachatvarimshat, same way here, you have vikalpa rupam, ashtabhihi and ashtabhihi.
Now, Mahoday, which page you're looking? I am looking at the book. I couldn't find it.
So in the Pravesha book, look at page 216 in the top right is Ashtan Shabdaha.
216. Okay, Panchan. Oh, okay.
Panchan, Shash and Ashtan. So that shash shabdaha, star it and say you need to practice the spelling on that. So when you write, you need to practice how to write it because that is very easy to make mistakes on. Then ashta has that vikalpa rupam. These are the only two which are slightly different. Okay, so that ashta
vikalpa rupa is there for navan and all.
No,
only ashta.
Only ashta.
Okay.
Don't ask me why, I don't know.
No, I'm not asking.
No, you can. You should ask. Okay, even I will ask. But I'm telling you, I don't know. We'll ask ourselves later. Okay, when we find if something will strike us later. So ashtabhihi, ashtabhihi, ashtabhyah, ashtabhyah.
Mahoday. So you are saying all these are nakaranta.
Pratipadikani.
I don't know.
Correct.
No.
So
Okay,
all of these,
so
when you're doing it, that nakara drops. So it's a panchan. Even with this thing, chatur, sorry, not chatur. So from panchan onwards, it's panchan, saptan, ashtan, and the nakara drops. It becomes pancha, sapta, ashta. Okay. Only from 5 to navadashan. The reason I haven't put navadashan in that list, I'll explain soon. Okay. But from panchan to navadashan, they are all nakaranta except for shash. Shash is a shakaranta shabdaha. That is the only one that is slightly different. But we all know that when we are saying our numbers, that is usually the place where we got our hiccups, right? When we were starting our, when we did our, in the beginning. When my kids also, I tell them to tell their numbers, they always get that hiccup on shat when it comes there. So, so shat, that is the only difference, shash. Ashtan has the vikalpa rupam. So those are the two different ones. But otherwise, the format is the same. There is a ashta, ashtabhihi, ashtabhyah, ashtabhyah, ashtanam, and ashtasu. The only thing that is different is that ashtau in Prathama and Dvitiya, and Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, and Saptami. There is there's a vikalpa rupam of dirgha a. Ashtasu.
Ashtabhyah.
Exactly. Tadeva. But otherwise, everything else is pretty similar. Is everybody okay with it? These numbers are they're in one way they're kind of simple in that these are all there is only one rupam for Pullingam, Strilingam, and Napumsakalingam. There is no change in the rupam. So I can say Pancha Mahilaha. I can say Pancha Balakaha, Pancha Grihani. Same. Samana rupam. For all of these. Ashtadasha Mahilaha. Ashtadashabihi Mahilabhihi Saha Aham Pathami. Okay?
And for Ekavachanam, it's the same, is it? Ashtadashabihi Mahila.
Bhavati eva vadatu. Sampurna vakyam ekam vadatu.
Ashtadashabihi Mahilaya Saha Aham. No, it has to be Mahila Bihi.
Correct. Because it is 18.
Okay.
So these are Nitya Bahuvachanantaha. These are Nitya Bahuvachananta Shabdaha. They have the same rupam in Pumlingam, Strilingam, Napumsakalingam. They have 7 vibhakti forms, but they are Nitya Bahuvachanantaha. So there is only one column we have to remember, just the Bahuvachananta. Okay? So it is, this one is quite simple. We get into it. It's not so easy anymore. Okay, it will get confusing, more confusing now. We'll get into it now. So 19. There are 2 ways we can say 19. Okay, one way is Navadashan iti asti. Okay, what is the other way we can say 19? Vijay Mahoday, you already know. Don't tell. Tina Mahoday, you also
Ekona Vimshatihi.
Samyak. Tadeva. It is either 10 more than 9 or 1 less than 20.
Right.
Eka una vimshatihi. Ekona vimshatihi. Bahu samyak. Tadeva. So Navadashan will follow exactly the same format as the Panchan. So what does that mean? Trishulingeshu samana rupam, saptasu vibhaktishu binnani rupani, and nitya bahuvachananta shabdaha asti. That is simple. Now, this Ekona vimshatihi will follow the Vimshati format. So let's talk about the Vimshati Shabda. Is everybody clear up to now? Anybody have any questions so far?
So when you say Nitya Bahuvachana means it is not, it cannot be declined in Ekavachana and Dvivachana.
Very good. It doesn't mean that the word itself is plural. It means that you are declining it in the plural format. That the supratyayas that you use are only the Bahuvachananta endings, Bahuvachana endings.
I see.
Okay.
Got it.
That anta means that you are using only the supratyas in the Bahuvachana form. It doesn't mean anything else. Why I'm telling you this? Because next we are moving to Vimshati. Vimshatihi, Vimshati, Shashti, Saptati, Ashiti, Navati. What is Vimshati? We know. Everybody say quickly. Vimshati?
20.
20. Shashti?
Yeah.
60.
60. Saptati?
70.
70. Ashiti?
80.
80.
Navati?
90.
90.
Very good. So these are all. What do you think the anta is? It's not akaranta. What is the anta?
Takaranta.
Ikaranta.
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 एतान् सर्वान् शब्दान् तु एते सर्वे शब्दाः तु इकारान्ताः शब्दाः. इकारान्ताः नित्यस्त्रीलिङ्गाः. They are always, why? Grammatically. Vyakaranam vishayamasti. This is not saying that you can only have 20 women. The Vyakaranam behind the Vimshati Shabdah is that it is in the Strilingam format. What does that mean? That means the formula that is applied is slightly different. That's all. You don't use the Pullinga formula. You don't use the Napumsakalinga formula. You use the Strilinga formula. That's why it's called that. Nothing else. It's not saying anything else. The Shabda is Strilinga. Saptasu
So it will be, will it be like Bhavati then?
It will be like Mati Shabdaha. So if you go into
Mati.
page, somebody help me please. Mati.
Mati.
Help.
202.
202.
202.
202, the second one, Mati Shabdaha. So you need this open, okay, for the quiz. So keep it.
Yeah.
So Mati Shabdaha. So this will be Mati Shabdavat. It will follow the format. But wait, there is one thing important here. It is Nitya Ekavachanantaha. What does that mean? Does it mean that 20 is singular?
Declined only in the
Exactly.
format of Ekavachana.
Exactly. It is not saying anything about what 20 as a number is. It is only saying that you are using the singular supratyayas to decline it. That is all.
Okay.
Okay. So when you do the sentence formation, the general thing that happens is we try to make it rhyming. So when we do that with these shabdas, it will most probably be wrong. Because when we go with the Mahila Shabdaha or whatever it is, those will have to be in Bahuvachana. Because 20 women. So when we do that in Bahuvachana, we have to remember to do Vimshati in Ekavachana. So that is where the problem will arise. So you have to be careful. Okay. So and even though it is a Strilinga, it doesn't mean we cannot use it for Napumsakalinga or Pumlinga. Vimshatihi Janaha. Vimshatihi Purushaha. Samyak eva. Okay, it is still a Visheshanam, it is still an adjective, but because it is a Nitya Strilinga Shabdaha, Nitya Strilinga Asti Tataha, you can use it for anything, it doesn't matter. We know that if there is a Visheshanam that is in all three genders, we have to use the correct gender for the noun. Everybody, we remember that? So if we have, give me an example, somebody, for Mahilaha. Buddhimatyaha Mahilaha. Khalu? Buddhimatyaha Mahilaha. Intelligent women. Then if we have men, how do we say it? Purushaha.
Buddhivan, right? Buddhivanta.
Buddhimantaha Purushaha.
Purushaha.
And then if we want to go into Mitrani, how do we do that? Buddhimanti, right? Buddhimanti Mitrani. Iti bhavati tatra. So we know because Buddhimat Shabdaha is there in Pullinga, Strilinga and Napumsakalinga. When we use it for a Visheshyam, the Visheshanam also has to be Yatlingam, Yadvachanam, Yavibhakti. But because this Vimshati Shabdaha is Nitya Strilinga and Nitya Ekavachananta, the Vachanam and the Lingam will not change for the Shabda. Only the Vibhakti will change. Okay. So Vimshatihi Purushaha, Saptatihi Mahilaha, Triyashitihi Nakshatrani. Triyashitihi ityukte kim Manjusha Mahade bhavati janati va?
83.
Very good. Triyashitihi ityukte 83. 83 stars. Triyashitihi Nakshatrani. So is everybody
Mahoday, are there in is it Trayashitihi or is it just Trayashitihi? Trayashitihi.
Ashitihi. Trayashitihi. It's not Traya. It's 3 plus Ashitihi, Khalu.
Is not there, I think.
No, it is not. You're very.
Trayashitihi.
Thank you.
Trayashitihi.
Trayashitihi. Thank you.
Trashitihi. It is in page 70 of Pravesha book.
How do you say it? Trayashitihi. Trayashitihi.
Yeah. It is not full tra as well.
No.
That it's written like that.
Triyashitihi. Triyashitihi. Tadeva asti. Because it's ashitihi plus 3. So triyashitihi. Tadeva. Okay. So is everybody clear? Vimshati, all these ikaranta ones from 20 up to 90, all of them, including say 21, 83, all of them are all ikaranta, strilinga, ekavachananta forms, but they have the 7 vibhaktis. They will decline like the mati shabdaha. So if you look at your book on page 202, Pragnya Mahoday bhavati prayatnam karoti va?
Mahoday, ekah prashnah asti. Gruhakarya, 14 Gruhakarya, there is a word upavimshatihi. What does it mean?
Close to 20. Upavimshatihi. When you learnt about the Ashtadhyayi dhatu patah, it said dvisahasra dhatavaha iti vadanti khalu. Close to, up, near to 2000 dhatus iti. Upa means samipam.
I got it, but first I thought, the people who are sitting there, then I'm like, upavimshatihi. So that when I thought, there must be something.
No, you're correct. They're sitting. The numbers that are sitting close to 20. That's all.
It's like upadhyaya. Upadhyaya.
Upadhyaya. The one that is close. Yes, correct. Very good. Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dhanyavadam.
Very good. So mati shabdaha upayujya. Let's try somebody who Anuradha Mahoday already did. Rajashri Mahoday bhavati karotu. Mati shabdaha upayujya. Tatra can you say, pick any number between 20 and with an ikaranta ending, 20 to 90. Vimshatihi. Padatu.
Vimshatihi. Then
say padadvayam upayujya. Vimshatihi purushaha, vimshatihi chatraha, whatever you want to say.
Vimshatihi chatraha. Then matim, so vimshatim chatran.
Very good.
It can be even for we can say vimshatim chatra.
Chatraha.
Chatraha also we can say, is it? No, it will only be chatraha.
It will only be chatraha. Chatraha will be strilingam. Or why don't we use purusha and mahila only? It will be easy because chatra shabda, when you go chatraha, you don't know whether it's pulingam or strilingam, right? Sometimes it's a little confusion. So use purusha and mahila only. So vimshatim
purushan.
And mahila?
Vimshatim mahilaha.
Samyak. Tritiya?
Then Tritiya will be Matya. So Vimshatya Purushena.
Bahuvachanam.
Oh, Vimshatya Purushaihi.
Samyak.
Vimshatya Mahilabhihi.
Samyak. Chaturthi.
Then Vimshatyai Purushebhyah. Vimshatyai Mahilabhyah.
Samyak. Tatra vikalparupam asti. Vimshatyai, vimshataye. Dvayamapi samyak. Agrimam.
And again Vimshatehe. Vimshatehe Purushat. Vimshatehe, no, not Purushat. Purushebhyah. Vimshatehe Mahilabhyah.
Samyak. Tatrapi vimshatyaha api samyak. Agrimam api.
Then Vimshati Nam. No. Vimshat.
Ekavachananta.
So Matyaha, is it?
विंशत्याः नो चेत् विंशतेः द्वयमपि सम्यक्.
Okay. Vimshatyaha Mahilanam, Vimshatyaha Purushanam.
सम्यक्.
And then Vimshatihi, Vimshati.
विंशत्यां नो चेत् विंशतौ.
Oh, Vimshatau. Yeah, Vimshatau. Vimshatyam or Vimshatau. Mahilayam or Vimshat.
सप्तमी बहुवचनम्.
Oh, Mahilasu. Vimshatya. Vimshatyau. Vimshatau. Purusheshu.
Samyak. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's a tricky business when you have to do ekavachananta forms for one thing and bahuvachananta forms for the other thing. Only way we can get it is how practice.
Have Pravesha book.
I already feel like this is Covida for me.
No. You'll get it. It's just a little bit of practice. So what we've decided is, or at least that's what I'm pushing for, is that every time we have homework for the next 5 or 6 homeworks, we'll put fill in the blanks where you have to put in with different numbers. So you practice. We'll force you to practice whether you want to or not.
It's like a giant leap from Pravesha to Parichas, like one very giant leap.
Yeah, it does. It gets like that. Some things are, they do it. You can't help it. But you know what? You are all more than capable of it. So don't worry. Okay. So atra 20 to 99. Vimshatitaha navanavatihi paryantam. Tatra vimshati shabdavat strilingaha ekavachanantaha cha. Okay. This is a little bit misleading because they are not all vimshati shabdavat. Madhye, when we have 30, how do we say it?
It is trimshat.
Trimshat. Tatra antaha kaha?
Trimshat. Takaranta.
Takarantaha. So you know which shabdavat it is? Sarit shabdavat.
Bhavat shabdavat.
Bhavat,
Right?
the problem with bhavat is it's pullinga. All of these are
Bhavati.
that is ikaranta. So you will go to page number, I'll tell you which one. It is page number 205. Okay. Sarit at the bottom. Sarit shabdavat. The only difference between Sarit and Mahat is Prathama and Dvitiya Vibhakti. Okay, so all you have to know, and Prathama and Dvitiya, if you look at it, they are exactly almost the same except for the Ekavachana form. Sarit, Saritau, Saritaha. Saritam, Saritau, Saritaha. But we don't even have to know the Dvivachana and Bahuvachana. Correct? We only need to know the Ekavachana form. So the Ekavachana form of Sarit Shabdaha will be Sarit, Saritam. Then how does Tritiya Vibhakti in Mahat Shabdaha?
Mahata.
Saritam, right?
Sarita. But Tatra you're not calling Sarita, okay? This is Sarita as in Tritiya Vibhakti. Sarita. Sarita, then Sarite. Saritaha. Sariti. Okay? You will definitely 100% make mistakes in the first few times you do it. Please don't expect too much from yourselves. Okay, don't get disappointed in yourselves. You want to make mistakes so you can learn from it. Okay, so Trimshat, Chatvarimshat and Panchashat, starting from 30.
Mahodaya.
Vadatu.
So what you are saying is, if it is Ikaranta, like Vimshati, Shashti, and all this, so it's always Strilinga?
Always Strilinga. Not only that, even Trimshat also, even these are also Strilinga. All the numbers after 19 from 20 onwards, and if you use Ekona Vimshati, everything from there till 99 is Nitya Strilinga. Okay, what does that mean? It just means that they are using that formula. That's all. So even if you don't remember that, it's okay. But you just have to remember that if it is Ikaranta, it follows Mati, not Hari. It follows Mati. Okay. And if it is Takaranta, it follows Sarit. It doesn't follow Mahat for Prathama and Dvitiya. That is why it's important to remember Strilinga. That which Shabda does it follow. Okay. So this one for Takaranta Nitya Strilingaha. Again, Saptasu Vibhaktishu Bhinnani Rupani. Nitya Ekavachananta. Same like Vimshati, you only use the Ekavachananta Suppa Pratyayas. The Ekavachananta only means that you use only the Ekavachana Sup Pratyayas. Vijay Mahodaya, Would you do Trayas Chatvarimshat for me?
Sorry, which one? Which one?
Or just do Chatvarimshat. Why am I making it more complicated? Let's just do Chatvarimshat. Can you decline it for me in the 7 vibhaktis? Saptasu vibhaktishu Rupani Vadat.
Chatvarimshat. 34 is it?
40, sorry. Chatvarimshat.
Acha, 40. So Chatvarimshat.
So let's say Chatvarimshat Mahilaha, Chatvarimshat Purushaha. Dvayamapi.
Okay. Chatvarimshat Mahilaha, Chatvarimshat Purushaha.
Samyak.
Chatva Saritam, it says.
Correct. So just that tam has to come at the end. So Chatvarim Shatam.
Okay. Chatva
Rimsham.
Chatvarimshatam. Purushan. Chatvarimshat Mahilaha.
Chatvarimshatam Mahilaha.
Sorry, Chatvarimshatam Mahilaha.
Don't say sorry. Ugly.
Okay. Okay, others all follow.
Mahat. So where is Mahat? Page number. It is. Oh, there. 199. 199.
199.
Okay. So then Chatvarimshata. Chatvarimshata Purushaihi. Chatvarimshata Mahilabihi.
Bahu Samyak. Agrimam.
Then Chatvarimshate. Chatvarimshate Purushebhyah.
Samyak.
And Chatvarimshate Mahilabhyah.
Samyak. Agrimam.
Then Chatvarimshatah Purushebhyah. Chatvarimshatah Mahilabhyah.
Samyak.
Chatvarimshatah again Purushebhyah.
Shashti vibhakti bahuvachanam.
Oh, sorry. Chatvarimshatah Purushanam.
Samyak. Purushanam.
And Chatvarimshatah Mahilanam. Then Chatvarimshati. Correct? Chatvarimshati.
Chatvarimshati.
Chatvarimshati Purusheshu.
Samyak.
Chatvarimshati Mahilasu.
Bahu Samyak. Very nice.
This always.
No. You only need it now. You'll get over it. Don't worry. We'll get you past that.
This Parichaya open book test. I think with open book only I'll fail.
No, you won't. You'll be fine.
No,
Don't worry.
for open book, the quiz is which page number?
That also, yeah, you have to go flick. It's hard.
Oh my goodness.
No, you'll get there. Don't worry. Just a little bit of practice and you'll get it. Okay. So in fact, actually, the problem is doing quizzes and writing and all is different. You'll be able to get that. It's when talking, Sambhashanam kartum samaye tatra sulabhataya na agachati. It's very easy to make a mistake there. So tatra eva we'll have to figure out how to put some Sambhashanam practice into place. Abhyasa varga and even in class. We'll think about that for Sankhya. Okay. So trimshatah balakebhyah chatvarimshati balikasu saptami vibhaktyam bahuvachane tadeva tatra udaharanam. Idanim. So everybody understood till 99. Yes? You understand. Even if you can make mistakes, it's okay. But the understanding is there. Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
We're going further. The numbers don't stop there. Next we have Shata. Shata ityukte
100.
100. Sahasra.
1,000.
1,000.
Ayuta.
10 into 1,000. Is it?
10,000. Very good.
10,000.
Laksha.
1 lakh.
10 in-
100,000. Niyuta. Add one more
10
zero.
into that.
1 million.
1
1 10 with 6 zeros after it. Tadeva asti. Shata, Sahasra, Ayuta, Laksha, Niyuta. This is not there in the Parichaya syllabus. Okay. But we want to know why should we stop ourselves from learning, right? All of these are akarantaha nitya napumsakalingaha. So from 20 to 99, they were all what linga?
Strilinga.
Strilinga. When you go to Shata, Sahasra, all of that, it is napumsakalinga, which makes life easy for us. Because why? It is Shatam, Shatam, like that. And it is Akaranta, like Jalam Shabdaha. So Shatam, Shatam, Shatena, Shataya, Shatat, right? Shatasya and Shate.
No, but so there it is Bahuvachana.
Ekavachana.
Ekavachanantaha. So that is the problem. We have to say Shataya balakebhyaha. We have to say Shatasya balakanam. Okay. So it is, even though both are, we expect that it is Shatanam balakanam, it is not. It is Shatasya balakanam. Shate balakeshu. Shate balikasu. So Nitya Ekavachananta. After 19, after 20, everything is only Ekavachana forms. They only use the Ekavachana forms. That is only Ekavachana from there. The only thing that is different is the Linga. And even the Linga, you only have to know when you're doing that Shabdavat, to know whether it's Mati, Sarit, and now here it is like Jalam. Okay, Shabdavat. It is only to know that. Once you know your forms correctly, then you don't even have to remember the Lingas. The Lingas will automatically, you will remember it. You have to remember the Ekavachana. That is the problem. Okay, Ekavachanata form. So, Sahasraya Bhaktebhyaha. Ayutasya Netranam. It does not flow easily. It is difficult. You have to put your brain into it. You cannot say it without thinking. Okay. So in the beginning, afterwards, when you listen to, your Hegde Mahodaya and all that, they're all it just comes. So hopefully we'll get there sometime. Okay. So that's what it is. Okay. Anybody have any questions on that?
Yes, I do.
Tell me.
Don't you think it is better to say that in somewhere here?
What do you mean? Oh no, my internet. Hello? It's my internet. Oh dear.
We can't see you.
Can you see me now? Is it better now?
We can see.
Yes.
We can see.
Yes,
I'm
we
so
can.
sorry. So sorry. My
No
internet
problem.
connection is not being good today.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where does it say 20 to 99? Vimshati Shabdavat Strilingaha. Oh, okay. There you say Strilingaha. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to remove that Vimshati Shabdavat because that is wrong. Because that Trimshat and all is not like Vimshati. Hello. So that is wrong over there. So they're all Nitya Strilingaha and Ekavachanataha.
Okay.
Okay. So that is there. Okay. So do we Bhagya Mahodaya, you already, okay, who wants to say who's Manjusha Mahodaya, Bhavati Vadatu. Pick 1,000 men and 1,000 women.
Sahasram Purushaha, Sahasram Mahilaha.
Samyak.
Okay, then it will be Sahasram Purushan,
Samyak.
Sahasram Mahilaha.
Samyak.
Then Sahasrena Purushaihi, Sahasrena Mahilabhihi.
तत्र नत्वं भवति सहस्रेण सम्यक्
सहस्रेण then सहस्रस्य सहस्राय पुरुषेभ्यः सहस्राय महिलाभ्यः
सम्यक् पञ्चमी
then सहस्रात् पुरुषेभ्यः सहस्रात् महिलाभ्यः
सम्यक्
then सहस्रे no not सहस्रे सहस्रस्य सहस्रस्य पुरुषाणां सहस्रस्य महिलानां
सम्यक्
सहस्रे पुरुषेषु सहस्रे महिलासु
very good उत्तमं तदेव okay so just this one slide I like this slide. It's not there for your parichaya exam at all, but there is a from the Brahmanda Puranam there is this shloka here. Okay, ekam dasha shatan chaiva sahasram ayutam tatha lakshancha niyutam chaiva kotir arbudam eva cha vrindam kharvo nikharvascha shankha padmascha sagarah antyam madhyam parardhancha dashavridhya yatha kramam. Dashavridhya ityukte tatra we are doing 10 powers of 10. So this shloka has described all the powers of 10 up to 10 to the power of 18 in the Brahmanda Puranam. In what age BC nobody knows. Okay, this is amazing stuff. Okay, so this is our the table is here for you to refer to at any time. The 10 to the power of 0 is ekam, 10 to the power of 1 is dasha, tadrisham asti atra. You can clearly see ekam is there in all three formats. Dasha is, again we know it is dashan shabdah nakarantah trishulingeshu. Shatam onwards we have our napumsakalinga. Shatam, sahasram, ayutam, lakshyam, niyutam, arbudam, vrindam. Then we have antyam, madhyam and parardham. All of these are napumsakalinga. Anytime is the visarga we have pullinga shabdaha. So kharvaha, nikharvaha, shankha, padmaha, sagaraha, all of those are pullinga. Kotihi is our lone strilinga shabda over here. Okay, they all have
is it kotihi is strilinga?
Correct, it is ikaranta strilinga vimshati shabdavat. Okay, all of these are ekavachananta forms. You will only use the ekavachananta forms. So kotihi will follow the mati shabdaha ekavachananta form. That kharvaha, nikharvaha, shankaha, padmaha, sagaraha will follow rama shabdavat ekavachananta forms. Okay, and the rest of them
sorry Mahoday. So when we said about vimshati, we have trimshat. So all the other numbers within that trimshat also will follow napunsakalinga, right? Like eka trimshat.
Yes. So vimshatihi will follow strilinga ekavachanavati shabdaha. Ek vimshatihi, dva vimshatihi, all that will follow ikaranta mati shabdaha shabdivat. But suppose we have niyutam tadrisham. So we have suppose we have 400 chaturshatam tadrisham asti. Then they will all follow your jnana shabdavat napumsakalingam ekavachanam. Okay. So we haven't actually, we'll do later, we'll do how to read our numbers, big numbers, how to read it. We read from right to left. We go from the units place in our Hindu, the way we do in our Vedic way, you go from right to left, which actually makes sense because that's how we add and do things like that, right? So it goes from right to left. We'll do that later at a later point in time. Some of these have very interesting stories behind them, and they have different, like if you look at it in Mahabharata, they describe the number of people in the army, all that. Yeah. They have, they sometimes use a different word for the same number. Okay. They use a different word for the same number. It's not wrong. It means that they have a context to use that word for that number. Like Sagaraha, the reason they use 10 to the power of 14 is actually something to do with the number of his wives or something like that. That poor fellow, I think, has an umpteen number of wives. So, I think it's something to do. There is some story. All of these have some story associated with them. We remember we did that Bhuta Sankhya. we did Bhuta Sankhya, where the numbers are represented by story or context. So all of these actually have some context behind them. Not Eka, I don't know if Ekadasha and all that have it, but I know that Shankaha, Padmaha, all of them have, they have in some stories, like the number of Shankhas, I think there's something to do with that. So it's quite interesting. If you want to do research on this, it's a lifelong thing, but it's just letting you know it's not out of the blue. Okay.
But Sagaraha, what is Sagaraha? Ocean?
But Sagaraha is actually there's a story about Sagaraha, his wives, the number of his wives.
Wife?
Wives. He has an umpteen number of wives, and that's how that number comes into play. I don't know how. Sagaraha, the king Sagaraha, the king of the ocean.
I see. Okay.
So I don't know exactly what it is. If you find out, let me know. But there is something. there is a story that I read it ages ago. So
okay.
But that's why I remember that he's also a number. He's a statistic. So I'm going to put something in our chat. Let's see how we do in our Sankhyas. Everybody go and do quiz. Can I ask, before you guys go and do the quiz, can I ask you, is it okay if we spend an extra 15 to 20 minutes today in class?
Yes, that's
Is anybody going to have trouble with that? Because the homework will have Sakarmaka, Akarmaka, and but I want us to do the quiz also. So that's why. Okay. All right. Go for it. The quiz.
Give that link again, please.
It's there in the chat message.
Okay, let me see. Oh, here, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
So if anybody needs the code, it's 545358. Joinmyquiz.com. 545358. Is everybody able to access the link?
Yes.
Okay, then my thing is not working. 1 minute. Oh, everybody's here. Okay, so I've got 7 people and 7. Perfect. Okay, I'll start. I didn't refresh the screen. I'm sitting there waiting. Sorry. Go.
Shamyuta Mahode, I got cut.
Oh no. Can you join? I think you can still join.
I just joined back. I think I lost 5 or.
No, that's okay. But I think you can still join the quiz. So it's there in the chat.
Oh, you started a quiz? Okay. I don't see the chat because I just joined.
Oh, wait. I'll put it in again. Okay. It's there now.
I'll do it. Okay.
Keep the book open, huh? Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, so Atra, most of you did very well, surprisingly well, actually, I should say, for this topic. So good job. So here we've got Haridvarataha dash Paryatakaha Dehalim agamisyanti. I'm going to go through this a little bit on the faster side. So if you need me to slow down, just let me know. Okay. So paryatakaah Dehalim agamisyanti. Atra paryatakaah tasya visheshanamasti. So paryatakaah ityukte bahuvachanam. So dve is nitya dvivachanam. It can't be that. Ekah is nitya ekavachanam. Can't be that. So it has to be pancha. So pancha. Haridvaratah pancha paryatakaah Dehalim agamisyanti. Everybody is okay with that? Pratama vibhakti bahuvachanam. Anantara chitre dash vrikshaah santi. Again, vibhakti ka tatra. You have to unmute yourselves and talk. All of you talk. It's okay.
Vidya, right?
Chitre vrikshaah santi.
Ekavachana, bahuvachana, prathama vibhakti bahuvachana.
Prathama vibhakti bahuvachanam. Vrikshaah ityukte pullinga shabdah. Pullinga shabdah. So in chatur shabdah pullinga is what? Is it chatasraha? Chatvaraha. Samyak. Chatasraha is strilingam, chatvari is napumsakalingam. So it has to be chatvaraha. See, 8. So it is easy to make mistakes here. Okay. Then Samskrita bhashayam dash vachanani bhavanti. Vachanani ekavachanam bahuvachanam, ekavachanam dvivachanam bahuvachanam. Kati vachanani?
3.
Napumsakalingam bahuvachanam. So 3. Trayah is pullingam. Trayani is not even a proper rupam. Samyak rupameva tadrisham shabdah eva nasti. Anantaram Vedaah dash santi. Kati Vedaah santi asmakam paramparayam?
Chatvaraha.
Chaturaha ityukte?
Dvitiya.
Dvitiya ekavachana.
Dvitiya vibhakti.
Dvitiya vibhakti chatur shabdasya no chet
pumlingam.
Pumlingam tadeva. So Vedaah tatra chatvaraha. Chatvaraha iti shabdah asti va?
No.
Na. That also you can make a mistake because you want to go Vedaah chatvaraha. Be careful of that. Tadeva. Mase dash pakshe staha. Staha ityukte tatra vachanam kim?
Dvivachanam.
Staha. So you have to find out from different things. So pakshe will be what lingam? What are the possible
Napumsakalingam.
Napumsakalingam or strilingam. It could be either.
Or strilingam.
But paksham, it is napumsakalingam. Correct? Okay. So if it's napumsakalingam, then is it going to be dvau or dve? Dve. Dvayah iti rupameva nasti. Tadeva. Shivasya dash anananam hasanam asti. Gajananam, ananam, mukham. So anananam hasanam asti. Anananam iti tatra vibhakti vachanam lingam vadantu.
Shashti bahuvachanam napumsakalingam.
Samyak. So panchani iti shabdah asti va?
No.
Nasti. Panchanam tadeva khalu. Panchanam anananam. Panchaha iti shabdah nasti eva. Panchaha tu prathama no chet dvitiya vibhakti. Tu kevalam
panchaha
panchaha api nasti. Pancha eva. Uttamam. Dhanyavadah. So both of these rupams are wrong. There is no such panchaha dvayamapi nasti. Anantaram udyaneshu sundarani pushpani vikasanti. This one was people had trouble with this one. Atra pashyantu. Udyanam iti shabdah lingam. Udyaneshu iti lingam vachanam vibhakti kim?
Bahuvachana sapta vibhakti.
Lingam?
Napumsakalingam.
Napumsakalingam. Good. Bahuvachanam. Ekasyam iti bhavitum arhati va? No. Tatra ekavachanam eva. Idanim vimshatyam iti bhavitum arhati va? Na? Okay. Pashyamah. Panchasu iti rupam samyak va?
Na. Panchasu.
Panchasu iti avashyakam. Panchasu udyaneshu tu samyak bhavati. Parantu panchasu nasti. Vimshatishu.
Samyak nasti.
Kimartham samyak nasti?
Ekavachana. Vimshati will be eka.
Mati shabdavat ekavachananta rupam.
Vimshatyam.
So it will be either vimshatyam or vimshatau. So it will be vimshatyam. Very easy to make a mistake on this one. If you made a mistake, don't kick yourself. This is very easy to make a mistake on this. Okay. So but the reason for this is to understand how easy it is to make a mistake. So you have to be careful here. Okay. Balakebhyah pustakanam sangrahanam kuru. तो अत्र मूलवाक्यं किम्? अत्र कर्तृपदं किम्? कुरु इत्युक्ते कुरु इत्युक्ते त्वं कुरु मध्यमपुरुष लोट्लकार त्वं कुरु इति अस्ति। त्वं किं कुरु? पुस्तकानां सङ्ग्रहणं कुरु, कलेक्ट द बुक्स। त्वं पुस्तकानां सङ्ग्रहणं कुरु इति अस्ति। बालकेभ्यः पुस्तकानां सङ्ग्रहणं कुरु। केभ्यः? फ्रॉम whom are we collecting the books? From the boys.
बालकेभ्यः।
कतिभ्यः बालकेभ्यः? एकेभ्यः भवितुमर्हति वा? वचनं किं तत्र? एतत्तु एकवचनं। बालकेभ्यः तु बहुवचनम् आवश्यकं खलु? तो एकेभ्यः न भवितुमर्हति। शतेभ्यः सम्यक् वा?
न।
किमर्थं न?
बहुवचनरूपं नास्ति खलु?
एकवचनान्तमेव आवश्यकं तत्र। तो शतेभ्यः न भवितुमर्हति। पञ्चात् सम्यक् वा?
पञ्चात् न, अत्र बहुवचनान्तरूपमेव।
Exactly. So the confusion arises that between 5 to 19, it has to be bahuvachanantas. From 20 onward, it is ekavachana. Ekavachana endings. Okay, be careful. So it is not shatebhyah because it should be ekavachanantarupa. So it should be shatat. It is not panchat because it should be bahuvachanata ending. So it should be panchebhyah, panchabhyah. Correct. Okay. Ekona vimshatehe. Samyak va? सम्यक्। मतेः विकल्परूपम् अस्ति। पंचमी विभक्ति एकोनविंशत्याः इति अपि भवितुमर्हति तत्र। सो एकोनविंशतेः नो चेत् एकोनविंशत्याः बालकेभ्यः पुस्तकानां सङ्ग्रहणं कुरु। फ्रॉम how many students are we getting? What is एकोनविंशति?
19.
From 19 boys, please pick up the books, collect the books. अवगतं वा? ओके। अग्रे रे अत्र सर्वान् डैश पुरुषान् दृष्टवान् वा? सो कोऽपि वदति अरे अत्र पश्यतु अत्र सर्वान् पुरुषान् दृष्टवान् वा? तो भवान् इति तत्र अध्याहार कर्तृपदम् अस्ति। भवान् दृष्टवान् वा? भवान् सर्वान् पुरुषान्, तत्र विभक्ति का पुरुषान्?
द्वितीया विभक्ति।
द्वितीया बहुवचनं पुल्लिंगम। सो लेट्स सी सप्तनवतिः इति भवितुमर्हति वा? तत्र वचनं सॉरी नॉट वचनं, व्हाट इज द विभक्ति देयर? विभक्ति का तत्र? सप्तनवति प्रथमा विभक्ति न भवितुमर्हति। अष्टाविंशतिं द्वितीया विभक्ति एंड रूपमपि सम्यक् खलु? एकवचनान्त अस्ति। सम्यक्। चत्वारि इति न भवितुमर्हति। किमर्थं? चत्वारि इत्युक्ते नपुंसकलिङ्गं। Actually, is that correct? No, it is napumsakalingam. It can't be. It can be dvitiya vibhakti, but napumsakalingam na bhavitumarhati. If it had to be 4 men, what would we say? Chaturah purushan. Samyak. Navati taman. There it is saying that is wrong. We'll come into ordinal numbers later to add to the confusion.
What is just a minute? What is Saptanavatihi? What form is that in the 9th question?
Saptanavatihi. What is Navatihi ityukte kim?
90. No, that is 97. Yeah. No. What is that form or? Prathama vibhakti.
Matihi.
Okay. Oh, acha.
Prathama vibhakti eva. So Saptanavatihi purushaha atra santi iti vaktum shaknumaha. Parantu Saptanavatim purushan drishtavan va. Okay. Sarveshu vivadeshu, in all the debates, sarveshu vivadeshu, dash vakyaihi va saha tasya lakshyam sadhayati eva. So tatra mula vakyam kim? Saha sadhayati iti mula vakyam. Sadhayati iti kriyapadam, saha iti kartrupadam. Saha sadhayati, he accomplishes iti asti. Saha kim sadhayati? Tasya lakshyam sadhayati. His goal, his point, whatever he wants to do, he gets it, he accomplishes it. Saha tasya lakshyam sadhayati eva. Sarveshu vivadeshu, in all debates, he always makes his point, he always wins his point. Dash vakyaihi va. with how many sentences we are saying, using how many sentences. Dash vakyaihi va. Idanim pashyatu. Sahasraihi. Samyak va?
No.
Na. Kimartham na?
Ekavachanam.
So if you wanted to say 1,000, how would we say it?
Sahasrena.
Sahasrena vakyaihi.
Samyak. Sahasrena vakyaihi. So tadrisha tat samyak nasti. Ekena samyak va?
No.
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 Ekavachanam. Shatena.
Samyak.
सम्यक् खलु एकवचनान्त अस्ति शतेन इति शतेन वाक्यैः वा सः तस्य लक्ष्यं साधयति एव सो अत्र कोऽपि वदति एषः अस्ति सः कीदृशः सः तस्य लक्ष्यं सर्वदा साधयति कथं साधयति सर्वेषु विवादेषु शतवाक्यैः वा कथमपि सः साधयति somehow he manages to make his point इति अस्ति पञ्चभ्यः तदपि सम्यक् नास्ति खलु किमर्थं सम्यक् नास्ति तत्र विभक्ति का
चतुर्थी नो चेत् पंचमी
सम्यक् चतुर्थी नो चेत् पंचमी very good so everybody is clear yes very good okay so sankhya-vachaka shabdaah we are finished with it okay we've covered all the sankhya-vachaka shabdaahas we are never finished with it in that abhyasam will probably never be enough I make a lot of mistakes still and I probably will continue to make mistakes until I'm able to be fluent with it. We'll all keep trying to work. We'll figure out some way to do some sambhashanam with it or something like that. Idanim. So agrimam, after that, in Sankhya Vachaka Visheshanani, we'll move on to something called, so this is cardinal numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but if we want to say first, second, third, fourth, ordinal numbers, so that is what we are going to move towards next class. Purana pratyayantaha iti bhavati tatra. So that is not difficult. It is not difficult. The only confusion arises is how to differentiate between when to use the cardinal versus when to use the ordinal. Okay. Again, it's Visheshana Vishesha Bhava. So if you understand that, it will become easier. We'll get to it. By the end of the cardinal ordinal numbers, we'll be able to play with it easily. Okay. So Atra, let's move on to this Dhatu Parichaya. Just 10 minutes. Okay. Please bear with me. Prathamataya karma padam ityukte kim. Karma padam ityukte kim. Kopi vadatu. Karma padam. What is it? Tina Mahodaya. Object. Ityukte. Object. Okay. So kriyayaha vishaye kim karoti iti prashnasya uttaram. Vayam janimah. अन्व्यक्रमः कृतवन्तः वयं तत्र यदि कर्मपदम् आवश्यकं तत्र किं कां नो चेत् कम् इति प्रष्टुं शक्नुमः तत्र उत्तरे कर्मपदमेव भवति एतदेव सूत्रं कर्तुरीप्सिततमं कर्म इति सूत्रमस्ति कर्तुः इत्युक्ते तत्र विभक्ति का कर्तुः कर्तृशब्दः ऋकारान्तशब्दः सो पितृशब्दवत् पितुः इत्युक्ते विभक्ति का
षष्ठी
पंचमी षष्ठी
पंचमी नो चेत् षष्ठी सम्यक् पंचमी नो चेत् षष्ठी इदानीं षष्ठी कर्तुः ईप्सिततमं कर्म इति अस्ति whatever the most desired thing of the karta is, that is the karma, what it is going towards, the object. This is the sutram. This is in Ashtadhyayi. Karturipsitetamam karma. You don't have to memorize it. You don't have to do anything. It's just basic parichaya. Okay. I'm not going into details with that. Even I don't know much. Dhatavaha idanim. Dhatavaha santi. Dhatavaha upadvisahasra. Dvividha. Purve vayam kritavantaha. Dhatavaha tatra yada bhagam kritavantaha tatra pathati vandate iti asit khalu. Pathati vandate. Tadrisham tatra, what was the difference between them? How did we divide the dhatu?
Parasmaipadi and Atmanepadi.
Amyak. Parasmaipadi, Atmanepadi and Ubhayapadi. There were 3 divisions that we made. Idanim, we are taking all those dhatus and we are dividing them into 2 groups. Atra sakarmakaha dhatavaha, akarmakaha dhatavaha. Sakarmaka iti shabde, that sakarmaka itself is a, what do you call it? It is a samasta padam. It is a conjoint between 2 things. Sakarmaka when you put that ka, it becomes basically you're saying it, making it into an adjective. Karmaka means with a karma. Sakarmaka means karmena saha. Sorry, not karmena. What is karma shabdasya tritiya vibhakti? Anybody remember? Karmana. Karmana saha. Exactly. We just did no sukti. Samyak. So karmana saha ityukte tatra sakarma. Anuradha Mahodaya bhavati eva janati. Sakarmaka iti bhavati khalu. Tatra sakarma iti bhavati.
What is the question, Mahodaya? I didn't get it.
To make it sakarma iti tatra sahayukta padam bhavati khalu tatra.
I was thinking karmana sahitam. That is what I was
exactly. Karmana sahita padam asti to sakarmaka padam asti. Akarmaka ityukte tatra eka nai iti samasah asti tatra basically negates it. Okay, it is not an upasarga. It negates a negation. So it is karma nasti na karma na tatra akarmaka iti bhavati. Okay, it is an adjective again. It is an adjective of visheshanam asti dhatunam. Okay. Sakarmaka dhatavah vayam janimah. We actually know this. Sakarmaka and akarmaka dvikarmaka. We've already discussed this, I think, in our class. We had a basic understanding. Khalu? Did I go over it?
When did you discuss that?
Do you remember from before when I discussed
No,
dvikarmaka?
I don't remember.
No? Okay. Okay. That's okay. So, sakarmaka ityukte pathati. Idanim Haraprasad Mahodaya bhavan pathati iti aham vadami chet yadi aham pritchami bhavan kim pathati tatra uttaram bhavati va?
Am.
So kim patati bhavan?
Mahabharatam patami.
Samyak. Bhavan Mahabharatam patati, bhavan Bhagavad Gitam patati, bhavan pustakam patati, sarvam samyak. Shlokam patati, uttamam. So asti, tatra uttaram bhavati. So tatra sakarmaka dhatu iti asti. Tina Mahodaya.
Uttaram dadati sakarmaka.
Kim karoti, kim pathati, tatra kim iti upayujya prashnam pritchamah chet, tatra uttaram sadhu uttaram prapnumah chet, tatra sakarmaka dhatu. So likhati. So tatra Tina Mahodaya, Hemrani Mahodaya likhati. Hemrani Mahodaya bhavati kim likhati iti aham pritchami chet tatra uttaram bhavati khalu. Bhavati kavyam likhati, bhavati shlokam likhati, asti eva. Dadati. So Preeti Mahodaya dadati. Mahodaya kim dadati? Mahodaya
pustakam dadami.
Tadeva. So tatrapi uttaram asti. So sakarmaka dhatu. Akarmaka dhatu nam madhye katam bhavati? Tishtati. So Anuradha Mahodaya tishtati. Sa kim tishtati? Vaktum shaknumah va? Sa kutra tishtati? Kakshayam tishtati, grihe tishtati. Kutra iti prashnasya krite uttaram asti. Parantu kim iti prashnasya krite uttaram nasti eva. Everybody understand? Saha upavishati. Saha kim upavishati? Na. Saha kutra upavishati asti. Kim iti na. Hasati. Kim hasati? Na. Kasmin vishaya hasati. In what is he laughing about? We can ask. We cannot ask what is he laughing. That doesn't make sense. So those are akarmaka dhatus. Okay. Bhu dhatu. Bhavati. Balakaha santushtaha bhavati. Tatra santushtaha karma padam va?
It's a kriya pada.
Santushtaha ityukte kim? What is it doing?
Happy.
What is it doing? What type of a word is it?
Visheshanam.
Visheshanam asti. Balakasya visheshanam. Pratama vibhaktyaam asti. Balakaha bhavati. Balakaha kidrishaha santushtaha balakaha.
Santushtaha.
So that is not a karma padam. We cannot say balakaha kim bhavati. Do you remember when we did again in the beginning, when we said the boy becomes something? Balakaha purushaya bhavati. Balaka, he changes into something. Balakaha purushaya kalpate. Balakaha, how do we say? Viduraya kalpate tadrisham. He becomes. We use chaturthi vibhakti to say to become something. Or we can use prathama vibhakti as a description. but there will never be an object for the bhavati. Bhu dhatu is akarmaka dhatu. As dhatu is akarmaka dhatu. Bhavanam asti. Sundaram bhavanam asti. Parantu tatra sundaram tu visheshanam asti bhavanasya. Sundaram tu karma padam nasti. Bhavanam kim asti iti na prashtum shaknumah. Does everybody understand? So as dhatu, bhu dhatu are all akarmaka dhatu. Now, where is the point of confusion? Idanim bhu dhatu eva asti. Yadi bhu dhatu eva asti. तो यदि अहं वदामि अनुराधा महोदय भवती अनुभवति इति वदामि, तो अहम् इदानीं यदि पृच्छामि भवती किम् अनुभवति, उत्तरं किं ददाति भवती?
किम् अनुभवामि? एतां कक्षाम् अनुभवामि.
भवती कक्षाम् अनुभवति, भवती सन्तोषम् अनुभवति, भवती किमपि अस्ति खलु. there is an answer. कर्मपदं भवति, परन्तु धातु तु भू एव. अहम् उक्तवती भू तु अकर्मक धातु अस्ति. कथं, किमर्थम्?
उपसर्गः अर्थः भिन्नं करोति.
Exactly. Context is all. In Sanskrit, context is all. You cannot ever, you can try, but formula cannot be applied without understanding the context. Anubhavati has changed the meaning. Bhavati means to exist. Bhu means to exist. Anubhavati means to experience. That means you are experiencing something. Tatra karma padam bhavati. So tatra anu iti upasargena saha bhu dhatu sakarmakatvam it shows, it displays. Pradarshayati iti asti tatra. Avagatam va? So in the
it becomes akarmaka to sakarmaka.
It displays as a sakarmaka.
Oh, okay.
It is an akarmaka dhatu. If you go into ashtadhyayi.com or anything like that and you look up bhu dhatu, it is akarmaka. But when you have a sentence, sa santosham anubhavati, there santosham is a karma padam. So anu plus bhu is behaving like an akarmaka dhatu. Akarmakatvam pradarshayati. Akarmakatvam, the tva, when you add the tva, it is a guna. It is a quality. So it shows that quality of an akarmaka. Does that make sense? We are going deeper than required in Parichaya. The reason for that is when we move into this passive voice, Karmani Prayoga, we need to know very clearly whether or not there is a Karma Padam. Because when we move into passive voice, what happens? So, Haraprasad Mahodaya in English, suppose I say, the boy reads a book. Can you convert that into passive voice for me? In English.
The book was read by boy.
Samyak. The book was read by the boy. When you said the book was read by the boy, tatra, the book is now pradhanam. The karma padam is pradhanam. We need to know what is the karma padam. So if we have a sentence, and suppose there are two things in Dvitiya Vibhakti, but we don't know if it's a karma padam or not, we cannot convert it properly into passive voice. So we need to be clear on our fundamentals. Whether there is a karma padam, whether there is no karma padam, what happens when we have more than one karma padam, tadrisham. Okay, so it's just to clear solid foundations. Okay, so sakarmaka uta akarmaka. How to know the difference between the two? Nyatum we already know. If we have to ask kim, iti prashnam prichamah chet, tatra uttaram agachati chet, tatra sakarmaka. Yadi uttaram na prapnumah, tatra akarmaka. Okay, now there is a little bit of a one more thing. So we said when bhu dhatu was akarmaka, it became sakarmaka with upasarga. Right? So upasarga can change the meaning, but we already knew that. We already knew upasargas can cause a lot of confusion for us. Hello. They can change the dhatu from parismepadi to atmanepadi. That can happen. Now upasargas can also change it from akarmaka to sakarmaka. That is also there. Okay. It is all context. It is all meaning. So let's look at a quick udaharanam. Ramah kim pathati Geetam Patham, Pustakam, we all know this. We've just gone over this. So because there is an answer, tataha pat iti sakarmakaha dhatuhu. Okay, this is clear. Next. Ramaha kim shete. Shete ityukte kim? Shete.
Lying down, sleeping.
Huh?
Lying down or
Yes.
sleeping.
Yes. Shete. Ityukte shayanam karoti. Tatra. Tatra, can you ask what is he sleeping? We can't ask. Khalu. So, nirarthakaha prashnaha. You cannot ask. It is a meaningless question. Tatra uttaram kadapi na praptum shaknumaha. Tu tatra shing dhatu. Tatra dhatu shing asti. We note a she dhatu. Akarmakaha dhatuhu asti. Okay. Anybody have any question on that? Are we okay? Are okay? Okay. So, idanim this one dhatu vahati iti asti. What is the meaning of vahati? Bhagya Mahodaya. Vahati ityukte kim?
Flow.
Floating, Mahodaya.
Flow. So tatra ekam vakyam dadatu.
Jale Artarage.
This means flows. Okay, the action of flowing.
Patrani vahanti.
Samyak. Okay, they are floating. Iti vaktum shaknumaha. Tatra plavante iti. I think it's a more appropriate. If you want to say vahati, nadi pravahati. Iti vaktum shaknumaha. Basic sentence. If we don't want to make it too complicated. Nadi pravahati. Okay, nadi vahati. Tatra, if I'm saying in the context of flowing, can I ask the question? What is the river flowing? Can I ask that question?
No.
Na shakyate. From that we can say that vahati is a what dhatu?
Akarmaka dhatu.
Akarmaka dhatu. Because nadi vahati, tatra kim vahati iti prashnasya uttaram eva nasti. Idanim there is another meaning of vahati. What is the other meaning of vahati? Who knows?
Carry.
Rajashri Mahodaya ekam vakyam vadatu.
Karmakaraha bharam vahati.
Samyak. Karmakaraha bharam vahati. Mahodaya, tatra karmakaraha kim vahati? Bharam. Uttaram asti va?
Asti.
Tu tatra vah dhatu कीदृशः धातु? सकर्मकः धातु. एकः एव धातु अस्ति. भारं वहति इति तत्र सकर्मकः. In the meaning of nayanam iti arthe. Nayanam iti arthe. Yada when we talk about carrying, tatra vah dhatu tu sakarmakah dhatuhu. Parantu pravahanam iti arthe. When it's flowing iti arthe, vah dhatoho akarmakatvam drashtum shaknumaha. It displays akarmakatvam.
So in Dhatu Kosha, how will it be listed?
If it can have an object, suppose there are multiple meanings. Sorry, I wanted to stop the share. Suppose there are multiple meanings. Vah dhatu has two meanings for us right now. We discussed carrying and discussed flowing. Carrying can have an object. So in ashtadhyayi.com, I'll quickly show you how it's seen. If I go to ashtadhyayi.com, it will be shown as sakarmaka. So if I say vah, so where will it be seen? Can you see over here? It is saying dvikarmaka. So there is a karma, but it's saying there are two karma padams that are allowed. Okay, so we're moving to that in the next class. I can't go into it in full detail right now. Dvikarmakah ityukte kimartham? Saha bharam vahati. Saha शालां भारं वहति. एकः छात्रः अस्ति. छात्रः तु पाठशालां गच्छति. छात्रः पाठशालां स्यूतं वहति. He carries his bag to the patashala. We can also say tatra. So dvikarmaka, the reason it's called dvikarmaka, we'll get into that in detail next time. Dvikarmaka means that dhatu can take two karma padams. Okay, so that balak, there is a boy, he is carrying his bag to the school. So there we can say it in two different ways. One way we can say balakah syutam patashalam nayati. Or we can say balakah syutam Pathashalayai nayati. To the Chaturthi Vibhakti. Yes? Is that making sense? There is a vikalpa form. No? Okay, forget that sentence. I'll come back to that sentence. Let's talk about something else. This is the easiest sentence. Aham prashnam prichhami. Haraprasad Mahodaya. Samyak va? Aham prashnam prichhami.
Correct.
Aham chhatram prichhami. Tat samyak va?
Correct.
Aham chatram prashnam prichhami. Tat samyak va?
Correct.
Tatra chatram prashnam dvayam api vibhakti. Can you tell me what the vibhakti is for both the words?
Prashnam and Chatram will be Dvitiya.
Good. Now, when we had done Visheshna Visheshna Bhava, I said if you have two things in the same vibhakti, what does that mean? One is a Visheshanam of the other.
Right.
I was lying.
Yeah.
Not always the case. There are exceptions. Idanim, Chatram, can it be a Visheshanam for Prashnam? Can Chatram qualify the Prashnam? No. Can Prashnam qualify the Chatram?
Yes.
Can it? Is Kidrisham Chatram? Can it be Prashnam Chatram? Samyak Prashnam iti vaktum shaknumah. Aham Samyak Prashnam prichhami. Aham Uchitam Prashnam prichhami. Parantu Chatram and Prashnam are two different things. Do you see that? One is not the Visheshanam of the other. There are two different karma padams there. They are not connected.
Okay.
I can also say, I am putting the question to the Chatraha. So, Aham Chatraya Prashnam Prichhami. That is the Vikalpam form. That is the optional form. But you will mostly hear Aham Chatram Prashnam Prichhami. Both are correct. Both statements are correct. And that means that Prichda, that Prach Dhatu is allowed to take two karma padams. There are a few dhatus which are allowed to take two karma padams. So we have akarmaka, where it cannot take a karma padam at all. There is sakarmaka, where it will take a karma padam. Correct?
Yeah.
Within that sakarmaka, there is a subset where those sakarmaka dhatus can take two karma padams. It is a small subset. There are certain meanings, only in certain meanings, in certain contexts only, that we can have dvikarmaka. Okay? So we will go in detail. There are certain meanings that are allowed for akarmaka. There are certain meanings that are allowed for dvikarmaka. We'll go to that in our next class. Okay? But right now, the main understanding is, given a statement, Ramaha bharam vahati, tatra vahdhatu tu sakarmaka. Nadi vahati, tatra vahdhatu akarmaka. Look at the sentence. See if there is a karma padam possible. Pathati is always going to be sakarmaka. Correct. Pathati, likhati, something has to be done over there. It is always going to be sakarmaka. Some cases you have to look at the sentence, see the meaning based on the sentence, and then decide whether it's sakarmaka or akarmaka. In the end, that will always work. Always. When you look at the meaning and understand based on meaning, that will always work. It's just that we are not at the level where we have that much vocabulary and that much understanding of context. But if you keep practicing, we'll get there sometime. Tadevasti. So the main understanding should be, you understand what is akarmaka, sakarmaka, and dvikarmaka. Is everybody clear on that? Yeah? No problem? Okay. Tadeva. So the next class when we come, we'll continue, go in depth into akarmaka and dvikarmaka. We'll do a quiz on it, and then we'll go and we'll do it Purana Pratyantas. We'll do the cardinal, ordinal numbers. Okay. And homework will cover the Sankhya's. Okay. So all the Sankhya's till 100 and maybe Sahasram, Tadrisham, but not too many that are 3-digit or 4-digit. At the most, it might be Sahasram or something like that. Okay. And then there will also be this Sakarmaka versus Akarmaka at a very superficial level. Does the statement have, can you look at the statement and decide whether it's Sakarmaka or Akarmaka? That is the homework, right, for this week. Is everybody okay? Have I lost anybody at all for any of this? Clear? Yes? Okay.
Mahoday, I have one question, may not be related. Like, if I say I am 10 years old, let's suppose, Now that will be a cardinal number or an ordinal as per Sanskritam. And how do
अहं 10 वर्षीया अस्मि इति वक्तुं शक्नुमः. अहं 10 वर्षीया अस्मि.
But this Varshiya is Strilingam.
Because because I'm talking about me or you, women. अहं 10 वर्षीया अस्मि. यदि हरप्रसाद महोदय वदति तो that will become अहं 10 वर्षीयः अस्मि.
Okay.
But iya is, I think that is also some taddita pratyaya, Mahodaya.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It is say something like that. But that is again a samasta padam there. Dasha varshiya, it becomes a samasta padam.
Oh,
and I do know more than me in this case.
Ayyo, pranams to you, please. Pranams, no. One more thing I wanted to ask. Last year, Malati class, he came up with a sentence. I want to become a doctor. Okay. So, aham vaidyam bhavitum ichchami. But this here, bhavitum becomes a akarmaka dhatu. But vaidya is the object there. So, should it be dvitiya or not is one question.
Very good question. First of all, when it's a tumun pratyaya, what will it take?
It has to take dvitiya only.
So aham vaidyam bhavitum arhami is correct. The reason for that is it's there in bhasha pakaha. Bhavati aham vaidya bhavami iti samyak. You are sort of making it a qualifier that aham vaidya oh God, what is ritlakara of bhudhatu? Bhavishyami. Shamitam.
Bhavishyami.
Aham vaidya bhavishyami. Tatra, you're qualifying. The vaidya is your adjective. You can also say aham vaidyayai bhavishyami.
So if you use okay. Sorry.
Or aham vaidyayai kalpe. I will become a doctor. Iti asti. But if you want to go tumun pratyaya, aham vaidyam bhavitum arhami is bhavitum ichchami is correct only because of the tumun pratyaya. Because of the tumun pratyaya, it has to be dvitiya vibhakti.
Okay.
Unless, can you say aham vaidyayai bhavitum arhami? I don't know.
In the slides that you had given for tuman, you had put it only under dvitiya, not under chaturthi.
No, I know, but aham vaidyayai bhavami, aham vaidyayai bhavitum ichchami. I don't know. So I have two questions actually. One is this dhav dhatu, for some reason on ashtadhyayi.com it's given as sakarmaka dhatu. So I don't know why it is given as sakarmaka dhatu. It's when you say running, you can't ask aham kim dhavami. Kalu? Does anybody have an is there a possible answer to that? Does anybody know? Aham kim dhavami. Aham kutra dhavami iti vaktum shaknamaha. But aham
it doesn't make sense.
I don't know if it's a Tankana dosha or something, because they have some mistakes that are there in that website. But I have to ask my guru. If anybody else also has a chance to ask somebody, find out. Dhav dhatu, I don't know why it is sakarmaka on ashtadhyayi. If you look at chal dhatu, it is akarmaka only. Aham saha chalati. Saha grame chalati. Saha marge chalati iti asti. So that is akarmaka only, chalati. If it's chalati is akarmaka, I would assume dhavati is also akarmaka. So I don't know why the difference is there. So that I will ask and find out and tell you guys.
Just like you said, upasarga will change the meaning. Similarly, maybe.
But upasarga is different. Upasarga is different. Correct. This is the basic dhatu itself, unless there is a different meaning. Is there a different meaning for dhavati? Or is it only... Is there, Mahodaya?
I know only.
Yeah, it is showing flow and other things to cleanse. Flow. So many other meanings are there. So maybe that's.
So maybe one of the meanings can take on a karma padam. Haraprasad Mahodaya, you were asking, no, whether it can be
even to wash.
To wash.
So when you say to wash, you can also ask, right? Kim.
Yes. Aham patram dhavami. So that dhavami is like shalayami. Oh, okay. So that's why the dhav dhatu is maybe sakarmaka. If even one meaning allows for a karma padam, it is called sakarmaka.
Okay.
It has multiple meanings. Out of those multiple meanings, if even one meaning allows for a karma padam, then it is defined as sakarmaka, because otherwise it is too hard. in the website. But when we this have to decide whether it's Sakarmaka or Akarmaka, we have to take it into context and say, in the context of running, it is Akarmaka, but in the context of washing, it is Sakarmaka. Tadeva.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that is there in that Bhashapaka book, in Bhashapaka 1. That's there as to how to decide that. So it's quite interesting. There's it's a lot more. When you look at Sakarmaka and Akarmaka, it seems to be a simple thing, no? Divide, but you go into it and there's so much more. So anyway, so Hariprasad Madhya Bhavan Vadati va Prarthana Shlokam.
Yeah. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhave. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Dhanyavadah Mahodaya. Bhavaha dhanyavadah sarvebhyah.
Dhanyavadah Mahodaya.
Thank you, Mahodaya.
Dhanyavadah.